Hey, I'm Vlad with Glow Marble, and my friend Francis invited me to a stamped concrete job he's doing right here in Brooklyn, New York. We're doing a wood stamp in somebody's backyard. It's gonna look great. Let's get right into it. Fortunately, I wasn't here for the prep work, but as you can see, they ripped out the old concrete slab that they had over here and put some sand down on the bottom, tampered it down, and now they're laying down mesh so that the concrete's gonna have way better structural integrity. We're gonna be using the stamp set SM5000.
There you go, shove that all the way in. Keep going, all the way in. Want to hold me? Alright. It's not
You guys are tying together strips of mesh rebar so that you don't trip on them when you're walking, and so that when you're lifting them up while you're laying the concrete, nothing is out of level. Basically making the job a lot neater. That's the main street over there, and these guys decided to work smarter, not harder, so they would have to originally take their wheelbarrows and go all the way down here. Down this, and then turn a left, which is going to be really labor intensive and really time consuming, but instead what they're gonna do is they're gonna have the concrete truck right here park up in this alleyway and then feed it directly into a wheelbarrow right here so that they don't have to move around too much. So this pillar right here is holding up a pretty big chunk of the house, and you don't really want to be messing with it too much, so we're leaving it like this, and then the homeowner is going to do a little project later to cover it up. He's going to put, I don't know what he said, a grill or something along those lines, but he said that this is going to be completely covered. Now right now, after the bull float, after the funny trowel, they're taking the edges and rounding them out. You can't do that later when the concrete completely starts curing up and it's ready to stamp. So a lot of people ask, how do you know when you're ready to start stamping? And it's not about time, because a lot of different weather conditions are going to give you a lot of different times when you have to start stamping. But basically how you know is if it's still plastic and movable, but then barely anything is left on your finger, you're good to start stamping. So the guy started stamping without me, but as you see, you got to throw the powder release down onto the ground, and then you put your stamps down in a random pattern. The best way to do it is to not think about it at all. If you think about it too much, then you're gonna start getting repeating patterns and like a stepping motion, which is not gonna look nice. You just do it randomly and you're gonna get the best results from that. So now you go and you take a tamper and then you start slamming them down basically. You could do this with your feet, but you're not going to get as good of a result from it. It's better to use a tamper. So you're basically, just like the name says, you're stamping it into the concrete and you're leaving that impression in there. And the cool thing about the powder release that they're using is it also acts as a kind of accenting tool. So when you come back the next day and you wash off most of the release, a lot of it isn't gonna stay on the concrete, but the parts that really press in like this, that's gonna create a pigmented type of appearance on it. And see, basically what they're doing is they're using it almost like a boat. So first thing you do is you stamp, and then once you run out of stamps, you take the first ones that you stamped and then you keep moving forward that way. And sometimes when you're stamping, a little bit of the concrete kind of peels out in between those two stamps. So what they're doing right now is using a touch-up wheel to flatten that out. You could do this the day after with a chisel and knock it out, but keep in mind you're going to be basically using a lot more time, labor, and it's not going to look as nice as if it were to be done immediately as you're going and floating or swimming down that concrete. Now the second truck came in, they're doing the second half of the pour, and right after this, we're gonna be done. It's just doing the same thing over again. That's how you're gonna get the job done if it's a little bit too big for one truck. You see right over here, this line can't really be stamped by anything, so we're just using the skin to basically make some texture on this very thin layer in between the stamps. and then somebody comes by with a touch-up wheel and then just makes the joints in between the texture wherever they want. So now I came back the next day before anybody else did. This is what it looks like so far, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pressure washer, pressure wash the entire thing to remove most of the powder release off of it, but it's still gonna leave a lot of accents into the deeper parts. And then the second thing they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to cut control joints, because if you leave concrete completely flat like this, the earth moves underneath it and it's always gonna crack. So what a control joint is basically a controlled crack. So it's definitely gonna crack over there, and if you don't do a clean cut, it's gonna crack in its own separate type of shape, and it's gonna look really ugly. So that's why you see sidewalks, they're never just one completely continuous basically strip of concrete. It's always in blocks so that you control the cracks. Instead of power washing it, they're just gonna be rinsing it off with a hose and some water, and they're gonna be cutting those control joints in. So that's what they're doing right now. I forgot to mention this earlier, but basically what they did is, if you have a concrete backyard like this, a lot of the problems that you're gonna face is water basically sitting around and going nowhere when it rains and things like that. So what they've done is, you can kind of see from this angle how these two slump inwards a tiny little bit, and right in the middle, I don't know if you can see it, they put some tape over it. They installed a drain in between each of these so that the water will run down into the center and go wherever it needs to go. So as I mentioned, the owner really didn't care whether this was going to be completely covered, but the guys did manage to stamp this and cover it with the concrete, so it doesn't really matter, but still cool that it turned out fine. If you notice, a lot of these cuts were going with the grain, and it looks nice and neat, but sometimes that's not always going to be the situation, because right here we're going to have to place a cut, and that's going against the grain. That's going to make some planks very little, some planks basically end where they shouldn't be ending. And a customer a lot of times might not like this, but you got to explain to them that in 10 years they're really not going to like it, because that crack is going to take a life of its own. And with that, we're basically done for the day. The next step is going to be using a sealer, and it depends on which sealer you're going to be using, how long you have to wait to apply it. With a regular acrylic sealer that you would use outdoors, you have to wait 28 days for the slab to completely cure, because you're going to get a lot of moisture that's trapped inside of the concrete because it's a freshly poured slab, and it has nowhere to escape basically. So what's going to end up happening is the moisture is going to find a way to push out through the sealer. It's going to start bubbling and rippling, and it's going to look nasty. But we're going to be coming back in a week to use something called Cure and Seal, which is a temporary sealer which lasts for about a year. It just basically quickens the entire process up, so you don't have to wait so long to seal it, but you're gonna have to reseal after 1 year. So you've made it to the end of my video, but now I want to ask you for a quick favor. See, the YouTube algorithm gets tricked into showing my video to a lot more people if a lot of people comment on it. So criticize me, praise me, or just ask a question. As long as you leave a comment, I'm going to appreciate it a lot. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.